Down and Dirty, Pittsburgh style. Black and Gold Sunday with Rob Pratt. News Radio 1020. KDKA.
Tony Fusarelli, ladies and gentlemen, 1966, where they have a rain day in Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. They were honored recently because the national champs were back in town. We'll say good afternoon to Tony. Welcome to KDK. How are you, Anthony?
Program.
Great to have you on the show. Bob, let's talk a little bit about this team that your cousin was a part of.
Well, right. They won a national championship in 1966 with Waynesburg. And talk about a good brand of football. No big TV contracts, no TV timeouts. Really good brand of football. But they were inducted Friday into the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame, the Washington Green chapter. And Tony, he's also from Avella, the hometown of our good friend Ralph Sindrich. Was this an opportunity? Was this a chance for you guys to maybe relive that moment again by this honor, by this induction?
Bob, we relive it a number of times, but this was very special. Let me tell you, it was an outstanding night. It was a night to remember. There was many smiles on the team members' faces, and at the end of the night, I got to tell you, I think we were 3 feet off the ground, and if we had a football and we had a team to play, we were ready to go.
Well, I tell you, it's a national championship. You win a title like that, nobody can ever take that away from you. But when you're honored 45 years later, and people are still talking about it, and you get to do that again, I just thought that must have been one of the biggest thrills for you guys to experience.
Well, Bob, we had a coach one time tell us, Mo Scary, we were at an event, and Mo Scary said, when you're a national champion, do you guys understand what that means? He said thousands of athletes try to do that, and very few have ever accomplished that. And he said, you guys have accomplished that, and that's something that can never be taken away from you. And, we all remember that. And, we're very proud of it, very proud of the accomplishment.
Now, one of the other things, in addition to the success on the football field, to win a national title and bring all that honor and glory to Western Pennsylvania, you guys were real successful in the business world, too, when you left Waynesburg. There were some pro players on that team, actually, but most of you weren't playing for pro contracts, but you were getting ready for life, and you were able to be successful in life. Was there a connection between winning a national championship and being successful in life?
Absolutely. It taught us the basics, how to have respect for the individual, how to do a job and complete a job, how to have the desire and a discipline to excel at your personal work, no matter if it was your career or your family, do the best job you can. And it was something that's what was taught at us at Waynesburg. Do your job, do it to the best you can, and don't accept 100%. Always stretch yourself to 110, 120%. Do it beyond just doing your job. And we carried that on into our careers. We've had executives with big companies, with GE, and guys owning their own business, captains and airline pilots, doctors, lawyers, dentists, and you're absolutely right. That helped us in our personal lives.
Tony, obviously you're still a fan of the game, and 55 years later, things have changed quite a bit. But 40, like I said.
Yeah,
45.
watch out, 45.
I was never any good at math either.
Right.
But the bottom line is, you guys played in the NAIA. It wasn't all about the Division I college scholarships, the big bowl games. It really is more for the love of the game, and it was long before arthroscopic surgery. So many of you guys had the ACL tears and the zipper scars down your leg and feel the pain all these years later, but just loved being a part of the game. Does it frustrate you what's happened with the NCAA, and we talk about stories with Jim Tressel and Jeanette Terrell Pryor, or do you just think that, it's been going on forever, and maybe, as I said to Bob earlier, the NCAA needs to be reeled in a bit? What's your thoughts about that?
Well, I think it's been going on for a while, but I think it's gotten out of control recently, and they need to clamp down on it. They need to put more controls. You're right. Some of the players are not playing for the love of the game. They have their sights set on making that almighty dollar, and the coaches do too. And it's become a big business and lost some of that love for the game. That's what I see happening.
Yeah, that's that's what I miss is the Sunday afternoons in the fall. And who plays afternoon games anymore? It's all about TV and being on, and and you get away from the roots of it a little bit. But those days were special. And listen, these guys won a national championship.
Big deal.
They won it on the road at the home of the team that was runner up. It was no small accomplishment. I just think it's just one of the great little stories of Western Pennsylvania football history.
Imagine this, guys, being down 20-0 with 2 minutes left in the first half, coming back, scoring a touchdown with 2 minutes left, and taking the lead 23-20 late in the game, to have them come back, take the lead 27-23, and then we score with Rich Dehar, our All-American halfback, throwing an end pass into the end zone with 14 seconds left in the game to win that game 30-27.
Well, good stuff. Let me just say
what
this.
It teaches you is you never quit. You never give up, and you learn how to win.
Well, let me say this. For those who question the toughness of the football player of that era as opposed to today, the NFL Network, which I love, my son and I watch all the time, they had Mike Ditka, which, of course, grew up just a few miles from here, rated third all time. And this was back in the early 60s when he was playing the game through the late 60s. Football players back then, they might not have had all the equipment and all the supplements, Tony, and it wasn't like, as Hulk Hogan would say, say your prayers and eat your vitamins. You didn't have the technique, and a lot of you were more students as opposed to athletes, but you had a love of the game, and you played it with a fierce competitor's edge, and you really liked to get out there and knock heads. And wouldn't you agree that some of the players of your era could have found their way into the game today and been successful at it?
There's no doubt about it. When I look at the athletes on our team, we had two go to the pros, Joe Rigetti and Don Herman, but a lot of the players had the heart and the ability. What they lacked was the size. A number of the players, if they had a few more inches and a few more pounds, you take Dan Dvorak, wide receiver, 165 pounds. You're not going to play big-time ball, but he's 6'3", 6'4", with those big mitts catching the ball. If you had what you have in the programs today and the weight gains and everything else, there was a number of ball players that could have really played big-time ball for our team.
And he became a successful businessman, retired as a locker, was the greatest locker salesman in North America. I mean, talk about a legacy.
Ran sales for Republic Steel and decided, hey, I want out of the rat race. I want to go own my own business and make it successful. And that's what Dan did.
Just remember, locker sales, he had the right combination.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, listen.
But, Tony, do you think he could have made it as a professional golfer if he'd only had the right swing?
You know what? Enough, Ernest Hemingway.
You're right.
All right, Tony, listen, thank you so much. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the great honor.
Thanks, Rob. Thanks, Bob, and thanks for all the visibility you guys have given us.
You betcha. Congratulations on a great award.
Thank you very much.
Are they the Yellow Jackets?
Yellow Jackets, yes. Okay.
It's a sting operation.
Right. You were thinking about the Green Lantern, probably.
And Bruce Lee, of course, one of my.
All right, guys, I'm going to sign off. Thank you very
Tony.
much again.
See you, buddy.
All right,
let me wrap up the hour in just a couple of minutes. And, again, thanks to the good people at Coons Market. Great crowd today. Always nice being here. Next week on the program, Mrs. Margaret Stargell talking